Welcome, Gunners! Welcome to the legacy!
Coming from this group of players that you have available, because you have creative players who are obviously not available.
Yes. No, there are now in this moment. What I said before, need to choose what is the best suit for the players available in this moment. So it's totally different thing that you start the season with 20 and then you can see, you can choose even 2-3 things to play now. Now there is no time. It's like a final every game, and we need to prepare every game in this way. So it's okay. It's a challenge. It's not the best thing for one coach, for one team, but how is it?
How do you see this team creating more chances?
I believe that when we attack, we need to attack with all players. That means that everybody will go in the box, but for one coach, for one team, but how is it?
How do you see this team creating more chances?
I believe that when we attack, we need to attack with all players. That means that everybody will go in the box, but as a participation of attacking phase is always about all players. It's also like defending. Football don't exist that you don't defend with 11 but also I believe when we attack we need to have enough players to participate, to find the right balance, in both directions. It's not about find a balance only on defending, but also how you want to attack.
And Arsenal dropping points obviously midweek created an even bigger expectation around this game. How do you think this can play out in the match, the fact that they come under more pressure than they were before?
I don't believe it will be affecting in some other ways already, the tension of this kind of game is already big, so nothing, I don't believe it will change with that something. Each game is it's a separate, so let's see on Sunday.
Yeah, well, Spurs will be hoping that Tudor has a positive impact as he's done during his work in Italy. In all his jobs when he's taken charge mid-season, Tudor's improved the club's points per game ratio. At both Udinese and Hellas Verona, Tudor saved them from relegation. And remarkably, at Hellas Verona, he took over in September when they didn't have a single point and led them to a top half finish. So, Roberto, you know a little bit about him, don't you, I think, in terms of his time in Italy. He's got a bit of a reputation as a bit of a firefighter, is that right?
Yeah, I think the numbers just confirmed that. He can certainly have an impact when he goes in as or mid-season and can motivate the players. But it's a difficult situation here at Tottenham. I think everybody's surprised to see the club in that position. And also, it's a weakened team because they have so many injuries.
Yeah.
And as much as people talk about the fact that, it shouldn't be an excuse, but I mean, I can say it. I mean, it's not the same as if you have all the players available. If you have major or big players that are not available, they can make a huge difference in your team. So certainly there is let's say a little bit of an excuse that there are so many injuries. But I think the club probably looked at that table and those numbers and was one of the criteria why they appointed him, because he changes the progression of a team immediately, and I think they need something like that for sure. And he speaks very good English as well.
He does, doesn't he? That's good. He'll need that as well. In terms of what the differences are, can you explain what the difference is coming from Serie A to the Premier League and how that might affect him?
Football is a global, you speak a global language. Maybe probably the Premier League has more of a high intensity game or football, but apart from that, what you do in Italy, France, or Spain or Germany, in terms of preparation of the team and watching the opposition is pretty much similar. He might not know much about the opposition, but the Premier League is watched all over the world, so I'm sure that he knows very much Not as much maybe as somebody that was involved, but he will know a lot about that. But ultimately, there isn't much difference. I mean, most of the foreign coaches that come to the Premier League, they've had no previous experience in the Premier League, so and we could name so many examples. So I don't think that's a negative aspect of appointing him. So he has a tough job on his hand.
Did it surprise you when you come as a player, the speed of the Premier League, or what differences was?
It did take me a little while, even though I adapted quite quickly. But some of the foreign players that come over, they need a bit of time. But it's not so much a little bit the speed of the football, but it's the general environment. It's a new culture, new language, new environment, new teammates. So I think there are so many different variables when you move to a new country, a new club. It's not just that, but certainly we know that the Premier League, the pace of the Premier League is faster, is quicker, and also, the ref, they let the game flow more than in Europe. But as a coach, you can adapt to that very quickly.
Yeah. Did it surprise you that they didn't go for somebody with more Premier League experience, do you think?
Did it surprise me? No, it didn't surprise me.
Okay.
No. I'm not sure actually who's made the decision there, but I hope it's a good one. No one wants to see, certainly from this side, don't want to see any Tottenham in the Championship.
What are you trying to say?
No, I heard what you said earlier to me about Tottenham. But
no, I did not say anything.
I'm joking. But I hope he's a good man. I mean, he looks the part, doesn't he?
Yeah,
I mean,
he does,
you don't want to mess him around. I mean, he looks a real threat, doesn't he? I mean, but
There's a definite look to managers right now. I think they're all moving into one.
No, he's...
Anyway, that's just me.
And look, he's a firefighter. Who doesn't like a fireman?
That's true. That's very true. What will he be focusing on? I mean, he's only, had a week with them or so. What do you do? You've got to hit the ground running. I mean, you've done that before yourself. What do you do with the players in a week?
What do you do? I mean, he has a limited amount of players to choose from. So on one hand, the team is almost given. I'm not sure it's going to change too much, because we said before the program that he normally plays with a back three.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure it's going to change so much because he hasn't got time to tactically work with the team. So he's probably going to leave the team as much as possible the same. He just has to galvanize them, motivate them. Obviously tidy up a little bit the organisation, maybe the defensive organisation. Also, he was talking about the offensive organisation and try to have little steps, day by day, improve, a little bit on this, a little bit on that, and try to get points. At now it's just about getting points on board.
Exactly. What he has to do is the non-negotiables. They have to be there. The tackling, the running hard. He's talked about running, distances covered. Not that guarantees you anything. And to create chances, need to score goals. But they've dipped off. We've seen them have half a game. Against Villa, they looked good in the second half. Against Man City, they looked good. It's got a 90-minute game. They need to, the unnegotiables have to be guarantees for now to the end of the season. He's got 12 cup finals, and they have to go out with a correct attitude to want to run and try their best for the badge. This team cannot be in the Championship. I don't believe it will. I think he needs to win 3 football matches. I think he's got the